Hi, my name's Jeff Swimer. I've been spending quite a bit of time now writing a book called Looking Well. Today, I want to apply looking well to a particular artwork, and this is the Leonardo cartoon, which is in the National Gallery. I know that a lot of you won't be able to get to the National Gallery to see it, but it really is worth going if you can, because it's a special experience. It's in its own little room, it's a darkened room. There is a sort of seat there. It does get crowded. And my own experience of it is that when you really look at it and you start scanning the faces, the characters in it, whatever noise is going on, and there's always kids with mobiles and people talking and taking selfies and all the rest of it, whatever's going on, if you start looking at it, all that will disappear and you'll get involved with the painting. And it's that involvement which I describe as looking well. There is a well-known concept called slow looking. Slow looking, which is developed in the Tate Modern, for instance, where they have a sort of program where you can go and look at paintings and really study them. Look at them for 5-10 minutes rather than that few seconds, take a picture and move on. But let's look at the cartoon, Leonardo's cartoon. And now I'm just going to talk about my own experience. You could call it a guided experience. But the first thing when I look at that painting is I think the center of it is the baby Christ being held by Mary, who's in the front of her mother, which is Anne. But look how she holds the baby. She isn't holding it to her breast closely, protectively in any way. And that is unusual. Most Madonna and child type paintings, they seem to suggest that Mary is aware of what is going to happen to her child when he grows up, i.e., the passion, torture, crucifixion, and perhaps resurrection. But in this case, it's as though she's supporting him, giving him freedom to sort of interact with the other child who's older, which is John the Baptist. And look at John the Baptist, look at John. He's a child leaning forward, his hands over the side of the chair. And he's in that sort of position that you see a child that's concentrating on something. You know, his back is straight. his head is up, looking at Jesus. So it's as though they are free to play. It's as though Mary and Anne are letting them have their freedom. And between Anne and Mary, if you look at their faces, Mary looking at Jesus admiringly with love, and Anne, her mother, is looking at Mary. And so there's this sort of almost a mirror type experience between Mary and Anne and the Christ child and John the Baptist. There's those two sort of levels of communication. So what does it make you feel? For me, I feel it's like seeing two mothers and their children sitting in a park or somewhere like that. I know it's a biblical story, but that's the feeling I get. And there is just a relaxed feeling of love and happiness and contentment. And that's how it makes me actually feel. There's a lot more in the painting. I mean, it's well known that the positions of Anne and Mary are unusual, strange. They're almost joined at the hip in a way. But my concern here is looking well at the painting, or how do I feel about the painting? And that's really what I want you to take away from this. Not a great deal of art history, but a real slow looking at the painting itself. Thanks.